Congratulations if you made it through the season's opening week with no busts at running back. Between surprising actives, injuries, odd usage, and good old-fashioned disappointing performances, it wasn't a great day for a lot of RBs who were either drafted as sure, fire starters or high, upside sleepers. We always caution against overreacting heading into week 2, but it's tough not to when these performances are going to hang in the air for 7 days. We advise letting the dust settle a bit and consulting our week 2 fantasy RB PPR rankings before making any rash sit-em decisions. The high reception RBs in week 1 were all pretty much who you'd expect. D'Andre Swift, 11 targets, 8 catches, and Jamal Williams, 9 targets, 8 catches, took advantage of ample garbage time opportunities to finish tied for second in RB receptions behind only Christian McCaffrey, 9. Colts backs Nyheim Hines, 8 targets, 6 catches, Jonathan Taylor, 7 targets, 6 catches, were in similar situations. Dalvin Cook and James White also had 6 catches apiece, while Leonard Fournette and Myles Gaskin each had 5. No one else had more than 4 catches, with just James Robinson, 6, and Mike Davis, 6, seeing more than 5 targets. Week 2 standard rankings: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Tight end, D/ST. Kicker perhaps more noteworthy for the PPR crowd is who didn't have a lot of catches, namely J.D. McKissic, no catches, 1 target, and Austin Eckler, no targets. Eckler feels like a fluke, but McKissic could be worthless if Washington keeps using Antonio Gibson, 3 catches, 5 targets, on passing downs. Najee Harris, 1 catch, 3 targets, Kenneth Gainwell, 2 catches, 3 targets, and Saquon Barkley, 1 catch, 3 targets, also disappointed majorly as pass catchers. Harris and Barkley were huge letdowns overall, but Gainwell managed to get into the end zone. Week 2 PPR rankings: quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, D/ST. Kicker. Overall, our PPR rankings are pretty similar to our standard rankings aside from a few obvious movers: Hines, White, Gaskin, Fournette, Devin Singletary, Chase Edmonds, etc. We expect some of these guys to bounce back in their respective receiving games, but with Barkley, knee, and Eckler, hamstring, still less than 100% and Harris still getting up to speed in the NFL, it could be a slower burn. Fortunately, Eckler versus Cowboys and Harris versus Raiders have much better matchups this week, giving them safe RB2 values. Barkley, short week versus Washington, isn't quite so lucky and is merely a flex in our rankings. Week 2 fantasy sleepers, busts, start-em, sit-em. We also expect bounce-back performances from Ezekiel Elliott at Chargers, Aaron Jones versus Lions, and Javonte Williams at Jaguars, but we're not quite as optimistic about Robinson versus Broncos, Davis at Buccaneers, and Gaskin versus Bills. Fortunately, all 3 get bumps in value in PPR leagues, so they can still pay off as at least flexes. Week 2 DFS lineups: DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo. Elijah Mitchell at Eagles, and Mark Ingram versus Browns were 2 of Week 1's biggest surprises, and we like both this week. Ingram is a pure volume play, while Mitchell will need Raheem Mostert, knee, to be inactive. Even then, Trey Sermon could make his season debut, but Mitchell seems to be the preferred option right now. The same is true in Buffalo for Singletary even if Zach Moss is active after his surprise scratch. More Week 2 DFS, best values. Lineup builder. Ultimately, we'll know a lot more about the RB landscape after this week. By no means will we know everything. After all, many teams overreact themselves to Week 1 results and swing too far back in the other direction, but we should at least get a better idea of which backs are in line for more targets this year. That can make a huge difference in PPR leagues, so pay attention to more than just the final point totals. Note, we'll be updating these RB PPR rankings as needed throughout the week, so check back for the latest changes. Rankings are based on full point PPR scoring.